The next cabinet member I'd like to recognize is Kaylee Schoonmaker, your Vice President. So I wanted to start with a story about Kaylee. I think it was the first time that I met Kaylee was at a regional meeting. I was asked to sit in the regional meeting and help out with anything that came up. And I'd never met her before. I was in the back of the room, and there's a very controversial debate going on about a topic that students wanted to bring forth. And the room was just really divided on the issue. And it was amazing to watch someone who I'd not met before, look brand new to MSCSA in my eyes, really be the person in the middle of the room that navigated this, brought both parties together, and made everyone leave the room feel good about the decision. And I followed her out of the meeting and had complimented her on it, saying, asking a little bit about her and how long she'd been in the association, and she was newly elected, and I learned a little bit more about her. And I said to her, I've been doing this job for 8 years. That was really impressive. That was a really impressive regional meeting, one of the best run meetings I've ever seen, complimenting her how she handled the disagreement and brought all the parties together. And I said, you should really think about running for one of the statewide positions when it comes up. So when I saw that Kaylee had wanted to run for vice president, I thought, wow, is that little hallway conversation that I had that got her to run? And what I realized is that everybody knew about this, and tons of people had asked her to run for vice president. Everyone had recognized the positivity, the energy, the excitement, the collaboration that she brings to meetings. And so I foolishly thought maybe I took credit for encouraging you and being that pushing person, but there was a lot of people pushing with me. Now, Kaylee, she's a bit of a practical joker. And so for our officers here, we work pretty much every single day at our office in St. Paul. So, they're cabinet members. They're really coworkers for the year, where you really get to know each and every one of them very well. She's a practical joker. And I feel like she's tried to direct a lot of it at me this year. I don't know how, but she figured out I am deathly scared of spiders. I don't know who told her. I certainly didn't disclose it. So she bought this pack of plastic spiders, and she would hide them in different places in my office. And, and it came a lot at once, and then she'd wait a week or so, and then there wouldn't be one show up, and for a while there was nothing, and I thought, all right, finally, because I would really get startled. I would jump back. I screamed one day. People came in running. They were like, what's going on? So it was quiet for a few weeks, and I went to go and get my out of mail slot, went to pull my stuff out of there, and there was one again. And I thought, oh, this is enough. I'm going to get her back. So no one else was in the office. It was after hours. I'm like, I'm going to sneak into her office, and I'm going to hide this thing. So I go in there, open her drawer, and what is there? A spider. She had hid a spider. She had hid a spider in the drawer, thinking that I was going to take revenge on her, and I would find it, and it completely worked. So I have given up trying to. You win. You win, Kaylee. What I appreciate about you most, Kaylee, is not your practical joking. It's your positivity. Kaylee arrives at the office with a smile on her face, and she leaves the office with a smile on her face. And in between, she puts a smile on everyone's face. Please recognize your Vice President and your newly elected President of MSCSA, Kaylee Schoonmaker.
Wow, thanks, Justin. Well, I just want to say for the record that as I was sitting in my office and I heard the scream, it was like the girliest, weirdest thing that I've ever heard. And I was like, what? And I ran in there, I'm like, what's wrong? But of course I knew what was wrong. So it was really fun. It's been really fun. This has been the best year of my life so far, and I just want to thank all of you for being a part of it. And, specifically the staff and cabinet, we're like a family, and that's really nice because my real family is so far away that it's nice to have you guys there for me and, Clanlord, as I call him, because he's my landlord too, which is weird, but he helped me move all my stuff, and he's been really kind to me, and he's been a friend as well as a coworker, as everyone else has been as well. So that's all I will say, but thank you, Justin, and I want to thank all of you guys for supporting me this weekend, and I'm really excited for next year, so let's get ready. Thank you.
We have a regular comedy hour going on here. And finally, of course, our president, Kelly Charpentier-Berg. So what is there to say about Kelly? One thing I learned very early on, I think it was actually, a year ago tomorrow, where I realized that Kelly had a specific vision for where she wanted the association to be, and she wasn't to quit until it was there. She has worked so tremendously hard over the last year, putting in many hours in our office, but also so many hours from home. Certainly, many students here in the room can attest to having to juggle so many things in life, with schoolwork, with jobs, with family, and Kelly's done that and just worked through it so well. I think one trait that Kelly and I share is we can be pretty stubborn, each of us, and that's made for some really fun debates in our office, talking to her about credit loads that she was thinking about taking on for the semester. I'm thinking, this is not good. You cannot do this. But Kelly would never give up. And when she made up her mind on something, that's where she was going. But I thought to really properly recognize her service, that there's someone else besides me that could probably do it better and understand the sacrifices in which she's put into the association this year. So if it's okay, I'd like to have someone come up and provide some additional remarks.
So there are some things you don't know about the mama bear. Some things that you haven't seen that I've been privy to as her husband and as the father of the kids that are learning some brand new words as she would come home late at night. And Justin, you have a lot more nicknames than you thought you did. And a lot of them ended with me talking to the kids and basically just telling them to go to their room and forget this ever happened. But the trick to it is, when she would get home, she would be on that laptop, she would be on that phone. We would talk about the kids and talk about where their plans are, how they're doing in school and what have you. But it usually came down to the most amazing lullaby. That wonderful sound of tip-tapping of keys as you're on Facebook and chatting with all of these different people. It's like, all right, well, I'll get the kids to bed, we'll take care of it. And we made those sacrifices willingly. You made that sacrifice willingly. Because all that tippy-tapping, that amazing lullaby, was to a lot of you. As she would sit up until midnight and you had something that was going on, and she was not going to sacrifice she was not going to make that sacrifice in vain of doing this job. She was going to make sure that if you needed something, she was there. And she was there, night after night, weekends, on and on, to make that sacrifice for each and every one of you. And when we first started this game, and I said, there's this position in student government you might be interested in. There's this organization called the Minnesota State College Student Association you may be interested in. You exploded to heights that I have never seen before. And as a representative of this organization, and as your husband, I have never been more proud. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2013-2014 President, Kelly Charpentier-Berg.
trying to say I'm not going to cry until Sunday. I've already failed at this mission. I'm stubborn, but my heart isn't. I was once told to be a great leader, you need to be a follower first. I have followed in the footsteps of some very mighty people, including the man that just spoke. It takes a great deal of support to balance motherhood and making sure that I was the best mama bear I could be for all of you. My job this year was to make sure, sorry guys, my voice is gonna crack, I'm trying to get through this, that I could touch each of your lives in one positive way, that I could somehow make a difference in each of your lives, because my job was to make sure I served you. I chose to follow the footsteps you gave me, and I did it with great honor. Because what the students need always needs to come from the students. Always. I'm going to stop talking now because I want to cry. But I just want you to know that this has been the greatest honor of my life, and it was my privilege to serve you.